Today, I will recap the 2002 horror thriller film Ghost Ship. Let's get started. In 1962, the film begins on a large ship. A strange incident occurred here. Everyone is having a good time at the ship's party. Suddenly, we see a hand that disrupts the ship's system. As a result, a wire protrudes from the ground, severing everyone's bodies in two. Katie, on the other hand, survived due to her short stature. When she sees this terrifying scenario, she screams. In the present, a salvage crew saves a ship and brings it to shore. Following that, they celebrated their victory in a club. They meet Jack Fairman, a service pilot, there. Jack tells them about the Antonia Graza, a ship, which vanished many years ago. This ship was brimming with gold. And, according to rumors, it is located in the Bering Sea. The salvage crew decides to join Jack in rescuing the ship. They arrive at their destination but discover no ship. Their boat collided with a massive ship. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Except for Jack and Greer, everyone moved forward toward the ship. When they go inside the ship, strange things happen. They arrive at a clock after following a sound, whose pendulum was making such a racket. When Munder touches the clock, it makes a sound, and they are all terrified. And a Scrabble game was automatically set up, on which the word welcome was written. It was strange and suspicious. Suddenly, the floor collapses and Maureen grabs Munder as he falls. Maureen notices Katie as she pulls him up. Suddenly, she vanishes. They all then pull him up. Maureen was taken aback by everything. Dodge then notices a digital watch there. Surprisingly, there were no digital watches in 1962. Murphy comes to the conclusion that someone else may be able to conquer that ship before them. They take the ship's manual and return to their ship. Jack visits Maureen at night. Maureen claims to have seen a young girl on the ship. Jack does not believe her and advises her to rest. The next morning, they discovered that the ship has a hole, which is why it is sinking. Everyone decides to repair the hole in 3 days so that they can board the ship. They then get to work. Maureen visits the swimming pool. When she arrives, she is disturbed by the sight of bullet holes. She sees Katie again on her way up and falls. She bled after hitting her head on the floor. When she stands up, the pool absorbs her blood. Jack arrives and takes her with him. When they go swimming, the pool begins to fill with blood. And there were a lot of dead bodies within it. Murphy notices a wine glass in the captain's room while investigating it. While he waits to take a sip, he notices Captain in the rearview mirror. Glass slips from his grasp as a result of his fear. Maureen and Jack open the engine room door. Water waves are approaching them. There were dead bodies in there. They became terrified and turned to flee. However, the door became locked. Then they proceed from the engine room door. Greer was listening to Francesca's voices. In 1962, she was a singer on a boat. There was nothing when Greer followed the voice. And there's Francesca. While looking for other members of the crew, Jack and Maureen enter a room. There is a lot of gold there. They hear voices from the laundry room as they go to inform others. While they go to see what is moving in the white sheet, and Dee begins to follow Maureen. She flees in terror. It was only their partners. Maureen lead everyone to the gold. They all agree to abandon the ship and take all of the gold with them. They begin to load gold into their boat. While Santos was cleaning the engine to start the boat, the cylinder turned on automatically. Katie was watching everything and tries to warn Maureen. But then someone comes up behind her and stops her. When Greer starts the boat, a blast occurs and Santos perishes. And they were all stranded on that ship. Maureen's only goal now is to solve Katie's mystery. She starts looking for her and eventually finds her way to her room. Dodge and Munder were eating food that turned into insects, causing them to vomit. Maureen discovers Katie's hanged skeleton while exploring her room. Maureen became terrified. Greer, on the other hand, experienced an unusual occurrence. Everything begins to change, and the year becomes 1962, when everyone on the ship was partying. Greer was completely perplexed. Murphy was sitting sad in the captain's room when the wine bottle began to move. There is a captain sitting nearby who offers him wine. While Maureen was looking at Katie's necklace, her soul appeared from behind her. When she hands over her necklace, it slips from her grasp. It dashes Maureen's hopes. Katie, she is certain, is a ghost. Captain reveals shocking information to Murphy. He learns about a ship named Lorley, and the disappearance of that ship is a mystery. That ship was rescued by Antonia Graza, and all of the gold came from that ship as well. Antonia Graza vanished within 2 days of discovering Lorley. Murphy is taken aback when Captain shows him a photograph. We will learn more about that photo. Katie claims that she and the rest of the souls on the ship are being held hostage. No one can leave until the person doing all of this has finished his quota. Before Katie continues, something begins to appear on the walls. Katie, terrified, orders Maureen to leave the ship as soon as possible. Meanwhile, Katie vanishes, leaving only her screams. Murphy now knows everything, and he's on his way to find Maureen, so they can get off the ship as soon as possible. But then he sees Santos's burned body, which haunts him. On the other hand, Francesca seduces Greer and forces him to follow her. She kills him after controlling him and throwing him from the roof. Maureen approaches Murphy in search of him. Murphy recognizes Santos in Maureen, and, mistaking himself for Santos, he attacks her. Murphy attempts to assassinate Maureen. Maureen, on the other hand, slashed him with a knife. While Murphy was attacking her, Jack came over and smacked him, and also saves Maureen. And Lock Murphy is a fish tank, because he has the potential to harm them again. Things start to look suspicious, and they just want to get off the boat. They all begin repairing the ship. They repair the ship while Maureen searches for the Greer. She ran into Katie again there. She shows her Greer's dead body. Katie transports her to the past and reveals all of her secrets. She demonstrates how chefs put poison in people's food in exchange for gold. Chefs died as well. Other people have died as a result of wire, and only a few of them are killed as a result of worker firing, and then murder Katie by hanging her in her room. They did it all for gold. Francesca manipulates and kills them when they reach the gold. In the end, she murders the worker, following the appearance of the villain. He also murders Francesca. Maureen is taken aback when she sees his face. That man was none other than Jack. He was the one who brought them on board the ship. Maureen considers Murphy after this. But by the time she arrived, he was already dead. And he's holding a picture of Jack. It was the image that the captain showed him. Maureen tells Dodge to keep an eye on Jack and heads off to find Munder. On the other hand, a force pulls Munder towards the ship, and he dies as a result. When blood appears in the pipe, Maureen realizes Munder is also dead. Here, Jack provokes Dodge, causing him to become enraged. And then he shot him with a gun. And he goes on from there, believing Jack to be dead. Maureen places the bomb on the ship. Dodge arrives and stops her from blasting, but Maureen doesn't listen. Dodge then changes his appearance, revealing himself to be Jack. Jack tells her that he, too, is a salvager. You collect souls for the boat, and I collect souls for myself. And he has chosen this job for the rest of his life. And if the boat is destroyed, his management will be dissatisfied with him. That's why he was intervening to keep her from destroying the boat. Jack assaults her after she refuses to listen. Maureen shoots an arrow into Jack's leg. Then she shot an arrow at the bomb button and jumped off the ship. The blast destroys the boat. Katie arrives and assists Maureen in finding a way out. All souls are now free and returning for their next life. Maureen continues to float and is rescued by a rescue team. She saw Jack alive while being transferred on a ship. He was transporting gold in another ship. After this, Maureen screams in terror, and the film ends here.